before they just know. Hey guys! Okay, so I am here to discuss the sad news about. No, I'm joking. I'm here to discuss the England Euro 2024 squad. Gareth Southgate, my king, has announced a provisional squad, and I would like to discuss said provisional squad. And so here we are. This fucking microphone feels miles away. Right, where am I? Right, okay. So, what we're going to do is we're going to go through every single position, and then we're going to talk about who's going to get dropped, and then we're going to fill in our lineup on this lineup builder. Okay, I'm a very big England fan. But I don't want to be judged on the basis of everyone's supposed to know fucking everything about every single player nowadays, right? I watch the Premier League. I do. I keep up with all these players. But I might get something wrong, okay? This is just vibes. I'm not fucking Statman Dave. Let's all just calm down. Right. So, first things bloody first. Let's talk about the goalkeeper. So, Pickford's obviously starting. I love it, I'm doing this. Pickford's obviously starting. And in my opinion, he should start. I don't think he's ever let England down. And I was actually there at Wembley when he saved 2 penalties against Italy and gave us the best chance of winning, despite how badly we were taking our penalties. But it was not to be. Anyway, honestly, I think in any shootout, he gives you at least 1 save. And he's very, very strong at distribution in the game. So he should be number 1. I'd take Ramsdale as number 2. He hasn't been playing much this year, but he's similar in style to Pickford in terms of his temperament, his manner, his leadership, also his distribution. But also he's been in the camp for so long now, it's kind of a settled thing. So he's definitely going. But we do have to drop 1 keeper out of these 2, Trafford and Henderson. Now, Henderson got a run at the end of the season, and I do like him as a keeper. But if we're thinking when would we actually use a third keeper, the only time you'd really think is like a shootout, which I would never bring on a keeper just for a shootout. I think it's mental. To take that risk. But I would go Trafford simply because he has the experience of winning an international tournament at a younger level and doing it in a penalty shootout. So I just think, and he's been playing more than Henderson anyway. So I would take Henderson out of the options. Right back, Walker, Trippier. Now, Trippier's probably going, we'll come on to this much later. Trippier's probably going more as a left back, but I have put him in the right back because he's ostensibly a right back. And I would take both of these. I'd take Walker because he's my starting right back. I'd take Trippier because he has that versatility at left back. And he's got really strong assists this year, despite the fact that he had some trouble in the second half of the year. And I also think he's one of the few elder statesmen in our squad. To be honest, Walker's another one of the elder statesmen. But given we're not taking Henderson, the centre mid, which I think is a good decision, because he's basically a cheerleader at this point, I think it's good to take another elder statesman who can still deliver for us. Left back, Shaw, Gomez. Gomez is probably not listed as a left back officially, but I'm listing him here as a left back because I feel like that's really... He's being taken for his utility, not to start at centre-back, which we'll get on to. Shaw is having some injury issues. For the purposes of this process, I'm going to assume Shaw is takeable to the tournament. I'm not going to say he's fit for the first game, but I'm going to assume he's takeable, right? So I'm taking Shaw. And personally, I'm taking Gomez for that utility at left back. I feel like I'm not really happy with Trippier at left back. I actually don't know. This is going back to what I said at the top about not being Statman Dave. I actually don't know if Gomez is good with his left foot. I actually don't know that, but I do know he's played a lot of left back at Liverpool this year. So I would take Gomez for that reason. The reason why I mention that is because I really don't like it that we don't have a natural left footer, fully fit in our squad for left back. You'd think it would be Chilwell, but he isn't fully fit and hasn't played great for England. So I'm kind of happy he's not in the squad. But then I'm annoyed that we didn't take Tyrick Mitchell, who has performed well for Palace, is a natural left back. It just seemed like an obvious choice to me, but now we've got fucking 50 billion centre-backs. But anyway, because I'm including Gomez in that. Look how many fucking centre-backs we've got. Take Mitchell, for God's sake. Anyway, Gomez is in there. Gomez is going. Maguire and Stones would be my starting partnership. They really trust each other, and I think despite Maguire's patchy form and performances, he hasn't been as patchy for England, if patchy at all. Stones has been brilliant for England, and he's had a good season despite he's been out for a bit in the last few weeks. But them together, their chemistry is priceless. Like, yeah, you might say Stones and Gehi is like a better combination on paper, but you got to account for that chemistry. It's almost like Ultimate Team. Like they've played so much together. They know each other's strengths and weaknesses, and that's really important. So then we're starting. I am taking Gehi because I feel like, based on what I've seen him for England and a bit for Palace, and also looking at some stats, I feel like he is our best ball-playing defender behind Stones, basically. Some would argue that's Dunk, but I would say Gehi is the one. And also, I think he's a left centre-back, so he goes in place of Maguire. Basically, he's a really, really good backup option. And there is an argument to say he could start ahead of Maguire, but I'm taking him. Now, Quansah, I don't know how you pronounce that properly. Quansah, I'm going to go. I think he's in the squad for experience, really. He's in as a youth option who might perform well in the friendlies and maybe might get a wild card to go. But he's never been in the squad before. And I don't think there's a chance that he would go. And to be honest, I'm kind of surprised he wasn't in the squad from what I've seen him for Liverpool this year. I am a bit surprised. But then again, if Dunk's in, then he can be in. But I'm not taking him because I don't think that he has had the camp experience, and I don't think that he has the form, really. So I think the choice for our fourth left centre-back is between these three. Given that we're taking Gomez as well, I don't think we need 5 centre-backs. So it's between these three. The positive of Quansah is that Quansah's been in the camp before. I think he performed well in the friendlies in the last break. And he has utility at right back, and he's quite quick. Positive of Branthwaite is he's the future. He's massively on form. And he has been in the camp before, even if he didn't play. Dunk, I'm not a fan of. I saw him live at Wembley in the last friendly, and he was fucking awful. And he was awful in the friendly before that as well. I know he's good on the ball in theory, but it's just not worked for me for England with Dunk. And so I'm not taking Dunk. And so for me, it's between Quansah and Branthwaite. And I think for the utility at right back, given that we are doing a lot of switch and switcheroos at right and left back, I'm going to go Quansah. I did hear a whisper that Branthwaite can play left back, but I didn't look into it enough. I don't know enough about that. I think Branthwaite will be the future, but I'm taking Quansah for this one. So, Rice, Menu, Wharton. I'm assuming that we're going to play a double pivot for this tournament. I do feel like one of those two has to sit and the other one has license to go forward. So you could argue it's a 4-3-3 really with a DM. but I'm going to assume it's more of a double pivot vibe. And therefore, there's an argument you could take all three. But really, I think it's between Mainu and Wharton because we'll come on to the other centre mids. But basically, I don't think Wharton... I think he's done so well this season, but he hasn't been in the camp before. And I don't think... I think Mainu has just got that... He's got that FA Cup final experience now, scoring that goal. He's played with Rice, even if it was only for like 20 minutes. And just his profile, the profile of him as a player is kind of exactly what we want next to Rice. It's kind of a duplicate of Rice, I feel. Like he can push forward and nick a goal, but he's also really good at sitting. So I'm taking Mainu. These four centre mids, I'm listing Trent as a centre mid, obviously can play right back as well. These four centre mids is a tough one. I feel... Well, obviously Bellingham's going. I feel like Trent should go. We haven't actually had Trent either fit or on form for any tournament, I don't think. He dropped out of the Euro 2020. I think he was injured for the World Cup as well. And Walker's always been ahead of him at right back. So I just don't really feel like we've got the most out of Trent. It's going to be one of those things we're talking about when all's said and done. We're going to be like, how did we not use Trent? It's going to seem a bit weird in hindsight. I think there are reasons for it. But anyway, I think we should take him because given we're not taking someone like James Ward-Prowse, Trent is someone who's got brilliant dead ball ability and brilliant distribution ability, and he can be someone we can bring on late on in a game. So I am taking Trent. Now, I think there's a final CM spot to decide between Curtis Jones and Gallagher. I think Southgate loves Gallagher because of his work rate, but again, I don't think he performed well at the friendlies last time out. Curtis Jones hasn't had a chance in the senior squad, but has performed really well at lower levels. I think he won one of the tournaments at lower levels. And so I would actually go Curtis Jones because I would hope that this player is not going to play very much. And Gallagher did have really... Actually, I'm kind of convincing myself out of it now. Gallagher had really good form at the end of the season. And what are we really going to use this for? It's really going to be shoring up games at the end, isn't it? I think if we're trying to nick a game, then we're bringing on Trent. Let me have a think about this. No, I'm gonna take Gallagher. I'm gonna take Gallagher because I feel like we're gonna be shoring up games. Yeah. I'm gonna take Gallagher. Now, Foden and Maddison. I actually think I'm just gonna move Eze. I actually think that's the debate. Foden's obviously going. The debate is whether we take Maddison or Eze, which will come onto the wingers in a sec. Obviously, Eze can play on left wing as well, but you can also play CAM. Maddison has performed all right for England, but I don't think well enough. And I also think his form towards the end of the season wasn't that good, whereas Eze's been on unreal form towards the end of the season. And we haven't really given him that chance. And again, I don't think this player, whichever one of these we take, is going to play that much. Because I'm taking Foden as an AM, but really he's going to be on the wing. Bellingham can play AM. I just feel like this is more of a luxury bench warmer. And for that reason, I would take Eze. And Maddison, I don't think has the form to go. So I'm taking Eze. Oh my good Lord, what just happened? Right. So obviously Foden can play on the left wing and he probably will. Saka's obviously going. Palmer's obviously going. He's one of the best players in the league this year. For me, Gordon's going because I think him and Eze basically cover off a natural left winger. Foden's not a natural left winger. He can do it and he'll drift inside, fair enough. But Gordon and Eze cover off that natural left winger. And Gordon especially really attacks the fullback really well, which is something we don't have at left wing if we don't take him. Because we're certainly not getting that in Grealish, who is my first high-profile casualty. Grealish is not going. The discussion would be between him or Gordon. And for me, Grealish does not have the form of Gordon. He does not have the penetration of Gordon down the touchline. And for me, his playing, like if you watch his playing style versus Doku at City, when they bring Doku on, it's a completely different team. Like they have no penetration with Grealish. I'm not saying he's a bad player. I'm just saying what we need on the left wing is not what Grealish can give us. Yeah, I know you can bring him on late in a game and he'll get you a free kick or whatever. I'm not having it with Grealish. Bowen is a tough one. I've actually put Bowen in striker and wing. Let's take him out of there. Just because I know he can play striker and I feel that that's kind of why we might be taking him. Let me just count up how many we've got so far. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Wait, what? I've got 6 players left. How's that worked out? 6 players? Go on, lad. Right, I'll take Branthwaite. Fuck yeah. Right, I've got 5 players left. Branthwaite was the one who was on the edge for me. And I think I'll take Wharton or Curtis Jones. I think I'd probably take, because I'm not taking Maddison, I'd probably take Curtis Jones because he's better kind of passing in the centre. Wharton's a bit more of a sitter. Ooh, that's tough. No. I'm going to take Wharton. Fuck. Oh, that's tough. That is tough. Curtis Jones or Wharton. Stones could play CDM if we needed. I feel like Trent's covering off that ball playing CM. And maybe we don't need that with Curtis Jones. I'm going to go Wharton because if Rice is fucked, then we're fucked. Okay? So, and I think we cover off this AM. I could take Maddison, but I think we cover off the AM with Foden, Eze, Palmer can play there. I think we're all right. Even Gallagher can play there. So, I'm taking Bowen, long story short, because I think he's had a very good season and the form shows that he deserves it. So then we're talking Kane, Watkins or Toney. Now, it's obviously between Watkins or Toney, and I feel like I would take Toney for the Penos. I honestly would. Like, up until a couple of weeks ago, I was like, I would take Toney for the Penos. But I just feel like you can't not take Watkins after the season he's had. And to be honest, if we really need a goal and Kane maybe gets a little knock or something in a game, you do want Watkins coming on, really. But then the profile's similar to Bowen up top. So, but I am going to go Watkins. He's got more assists as well this year, so he can kind of be a bit more fluid with that front line. So let me just check. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. So there is my 26 that I'm taking. We got there in the end. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to essentially, I was going to say guess. Am I going to guess my lineup or am I going to, am I going to guess Gareth's lineup or am I going to do my own lineup? I think I'm going to do my own lineup. Pickford is going to be in goal. Walker is going to be at right back. Makes itself for me this. Stones, as in this back line, is going to be at RCB. And then we've got Maguire at left centre back. Now, I'm going to assume that Shaw is takeable but not fit for the first game because I don't think anyone's suggesting if we do take him, he'd be fit for the first game. I don't think that's on the cards. So it's got to be Gomez or Trippier at left back. I think for that first game, I'd go Trippier at left back. I don't like him at left back, as I said earlier. But I do think that we don't have much experience of Maguire playing next to Gomez, and I think for a first game in a tournament, that's probably not great. I will say a caveat, if we do get that experience in the friendlies beforehand, then by all means stick Gomez there. That would probably be my preference. Here, now, I'll say what I would do, okay? But by all means, shout me down. I would put Bellingham. I would put Bellingham in the 8 position, as in the box to box ball carrying midfielder. Okay, because I think we've got 3 roles in our midfield. We have the 6, the 8, and the 10. Not reinventing the wheel there. Rice plays a 6. I don't give a fuck what anyone's saying about what he's been doing for Arsenal this season. He played 6 for West Ham for fucking ages. He's played 6 for us for 4 years at least. He can play 6. It annoys me so much that people just like forget what a player has done in the past, and they only treat the last 6 months as like their entire ability. And it's the same with Bellingham. Yes, I know he's been playing 10 or sometimes a false 9 for Madrid, but he played 8 at Dortmund. He started even further back, but mainly played 8 at Dortmund, and he has played 8 at Madrid, and he's played 8 for England pretty much all the time up until now. And Southgate's getting swayed by his position at Madrid, and it's annoying. Like at the World Cup, he played 8 next to Rice pretty much every time, and Mount was ahead of him. Or he played there was 2 8s, him and Henderson. He's never been a 10 for England consistently until the last friendly break, I think. I don't see why we're all saying suddenly he can't do it, and everyone's like, "Oh, play your best players in your best position." Yeah, he is one of our best players, and that is still one of his positions. That is a legitimate position that Bellingham can play. If you look at the goals he's scored or contributed to for England, a lot of them have come from that 8 position. Think about the one in Qatar where he rolled it across to Henderson to finish. He started that from deep. Like, he is a ball-carrying midfielder in my eyes. He's legsy. He's not technical in that hole like Foden is. He's a finisher and he's legsy. He's a Lampard. He's box to box. I see him as an 8, so I would start him. I know what everyone's going to be saying. No one's going to watch this, first of all, but I know if people were, then they would say, "Oh, well, you're saying he's an 8, but Carlo Ancelotti knows a bit more than you, and he scored 20 whatever goals this season." Yeah, I get it. He can play. He can also play 10. I'm saying he can play both. You're the one who's only saying he can only play 1. So, of course, we can push him forward late in the game if we need to, if we need one of his trademark late goals. But I'm playing Foden at 10. Look at me shouting it into the abyss. So that means left wing, I'm starting Eze or Gordon, right? Which, again, you might be like, what the fuck? You're moving Foden across to put for Eze or Gordon on the left. That doesn't seem like that's getting our best team on the pitch. I believe in getting our best players who play in the positions that we're putting them in. Foden, yes, he starts on the left, but his effectiveness has come in the centre for City, so I'm starting him in the centre. I know he can drift off the left, but then we have to put Bellingham in the centre. Blah, blah, blah. Look, if you want to put Bellingham at 10 and Manu at 8, then fine. I'm not against that, but I'm just saying what I'm doing. And I would start Eze left simply because of his form. No, I'm changing my mind. I wouldn't. No. I would start Gordon left. Also on brilliant form, and he's a natural left winger. Yeah. I'm starting Saka at right. I think he's pretty much nailed on. I would love to be able to start Saka and Palmer in the same team, but Palmer doesn't play off the left. Saka can play off the left, but it's not his starting position. I just feel like Saka and his relationship with Kane is good. I'm going to start Saka and Kane's up top. I'm wearing myself out here. Fucking hell. So, Pickford's sub is Ramsdale. Fucking hell. For me, Walker's sub is Trippier, really, and then starting Gomez on the left. Jones's sub is Konsa. Maguire's sub is Gerhi. Bellingham's is Manu. Rice is... Did I take Wharton in the end? Did I take Wharton? Fuck. Yeah, I think I did. Yeah. Rice sub is Wharton. Saka's sub is Palmer. Foden's sub is probably Eze, to be fair. Gordon's sub... Guy realizes his squad isn't good in real time. Gordon would probably be Eze as well. Maybe Maddison does have a spot there. Maybe Maddison instead of Bowen. Anyway, up top it would be Watkins. Maybe Maddison instead of Bowen in my squad. Yeah, I think there is an argument for that, actually. Well, anyway, that fucked up at the end, didn't it? Well, there we go. That's my England 11. And that's my starting 11 anyway. Yeah, thank you very much. Right, I'm really, that's tired me out. See you next time.